Released by Konami in 1987 on the NES, Castlevania II: Simon's Quest would continue the adventure of vampire hunter Simon Belmont. Directed by Hitoshi Akamatsu, who directed the first game, the game would incorporate RPG elements with its action platforming, and feature open-world exploration similar in framework to the Metroid series, which would inspire later Castlevania titles. For story, the game features the return of Simon Belmont, who now quests to rid himself of a dark curse, as this adventure takes place after the first Castlevania, but before Harmony of Dissonance. The game introduces a day and night cycle that influences enemies and NPCs in towns, as well as in the open world. The passage of time is also tracked, as completion time determines one of 3 possible endings. For gameplay, the game is an action platformer as players defeat enemies for hearts, which act not only as experience to level up Simon's health, but also currency to purchase and upgrade new items. For combat, Simon's main weapon is the whip, though it can also use a variety of sub-weapons and equipment, including defensive items and quest-related items. The story only gets larger from here, so let's cut it down to size with a recapitation. Set in the year 1698, 7 years after Simon Belmont has defeated Count Dracula, the vampire hunter now feels the effects of the curse Dracula placed on him during their duel, gnawing at his soul and causing his body to decay. As Dracula's minions begin to rise around Transylvania, Simon now sees a vision of a beautiful maiden who warns him of his curse, and tells him that in order to lift it, Simon needs to collect the 5 scattered body parts of Dracula and burn them inside his castle. With whip in hand, Simon now begins his journey to the 5 manors he knows house Dracula's pieces. Beginning his quest in the town of Jova, Simon hears a local merchant is selling a white crystal, which he knows he needs in a nearby manor, and after obtaining it as well as trusty holy water, treks out into the woods, where wolfmen, skeletons, and fishmen bar his way. However, it is a horrible night to have a curse, as the darkness imbues Dracula's army with fearsome strength. Finding and entering the Berkeley Manor, Simon uses the white crystal to reveal the invisible platforms within, as he lashes through the slimes, dark knights, armed skeletons, and fireball-spewing gargoyles lurking within. A shady merchant sells him an oak stake, essential for shattering the orb within the manor's dungeon that contains Dracula's ribs. With a piece of the puzzle now in his possession, Simon now treks to the town of Veros, equipping himself with a dagger for the journey and upgrading his whip. Going next through Dobby's path, venomous spiders lurk about en route to the town of Algiba, wherein Simon exchanges his white crystal for a blue one, and he secures a supply of life-saving garlic and laurels. Getting a new knife to better save his neck, Simon heads underground to seek out the next manor, knowing intuitively to kneel down by a lake, and the blue crystal would allow him to descend beyond its waters. Entering the submerged Rover Manor, the denizens within are no match for his skill and gear, as Simon easily claims Dracula's heart next. Now heading to the swamps west of Jova, Simon wades through the poisonous wetlands as lizardmen and snakes scramble towards him. A ferryman beyond offers to give him a ride across a wide river, and as soon as he's on the other side, Simon is met with an intimidating Brahm Manor. Within, he is shocked to see the Grim Reaper lurking within, though after a clash, Simon is victorious, gaining the coveted golden knife as his trophy. After securing Dracula's eyeball in his possession, he passes by the town of Olden to add a deadly Morning Star to his arsenal, and the town of Aldora to swap his blue crystal for a red one. Doing the obvious thing and taking the red crystal to a dead-end outside town, Simon kneels down until a tornado comes in, lifts him up, and transports him directly to the next 2 manors. Before entering, a mysterious stranger empowers his whip to burst forth with holy fire, and as prepared as he can ever be, he enters Laruba Manor, smashing past the droves of skeletonites patrolling the area, and making short work of the crying mask haunting the residents. Purifying the magic cross in its possession, Simon smashes the sealed orb nearby to also grab Dracula's ring, and quickly vacates the manor. Dashing into his 5th and final manor, Bodley Manor, where invisible walls and floors hide its true depths, Simon is quick to secure Dracula's nail, and now hope is in sight of lifting his deadly curse. As the morning sun vanquishes the horrible night, Simon now heads directly to where this all began, Castlevania. Descending down the dismal depths of the deadly dungeon, things are too quiet as he lifts the 5 pieces to an altar and proceeds to burn them. To his surprise, a hidden 6th piece, Dracula's Fang, was hidden in the ruins, and Dracula is now being revived. Acting quickly to stop the second coming, Simon lashes into the ghost of the Dark Prince, who flings out deadly fireballs in response. The duel ends in victory for Simon, though, as thanks to his quick wits and quicker whip, Dracula is once again defeated, and this time, Simon's curse along with it. As the game ends, Simon buries Dracula's remains, and the world is safe once again, though when darkness falls, a grisly hand bursts out of the grave, proof that the nightmare is far from over. Castlevania II: Simon's Quest has enjoyed the success of selling over 930,000 copies worldwide.